Hello, everybody. This is Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics, and I am joined by once again the wonderful Vickyverse.
Hello, everybody.
And our ever stalwart John Lamont.
Hello.
All right. So, I've been putting some thought into the contest, and all right. So, what I've been thinking. Because originally we kind of said, oh, hey, let's have a second pitch stream. But really, the rules of the contest were that you had to have your entry submitted via the wiki and whatnot by, the original pitch stream date. And really the additional pitch stream would just be to allow people such as yourself, John, who kind of were didn't quite make the cut first time, come back and represent. And so, since that's really all it would be, I'm just going to be like, okay, Testimony Jackson, we're going to allow that person now in the contest, despite the fact they didn't pitch, because they did have a page up by the time of the contest entry date. So we're going to do that. And John, so you've been here presenting regularly, and it seems like Komanga has is kind of experimenting around with some Gatsby and Guinevere pages instead of the idea he pitched. So if he came back and repitched Gatsby, that's fine. So really, let's just say a month from today. So today is July 22nd. So let's see, a month would be, basically third week in August or so. And that's when we will collect scripts from everybody. You can submit them into the writer's Discord. And this will be scripts for the entire first issue of the comic that we would be producing here as part of the contest. So, we're going to get John and, everyone who has been approved. So even Fly Fox Pro, he got approved. He hasn't presented pages, but, look, if he can sit down and bang out a script, he's free to submit it. Tony S. we haven't seen for a while, but, everyone who got approved to present pages will get to submit a 23-page, a script for 23 pages, I should say. It's 23 comic book pages. And then we will just choose whoever had the very best script, and we will go forward with production of that script. So that's the idea.
That sounds easy.
Yeah. So... And I think I'm delegating this to Vicky because I already kind of I'm gonna be kind of playing producer here. Look, I've already gone through plenty of pages here on the writer's stream. I kind of know where the ideas are and stuff. Hello, and so I'm gonna let Vicky, because she has always been designated as a judge. Vicky, we'll read through all the scripts and come back and go, okay, this is my ranking, first, second, third. And if I can agree that that's a number one, then I'll be like, okay, that one, that's the winner. And there we go.
All right.
Sounds fair.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So, writer gang in this, that's right. Once we go, so, well, tonight we only have one script, which is from John. But oh my God, we have so much drama. I'm gonna have to bring that back. It was so crazy.
It was insane.
You can, or not. Jennifer is here. I didn't know if you wanted to listen on headphones.
I am. I've got everything right here. I'm about to get on.
All right. I was just trying to do some tech support for you if you need.
Thanks.
But yeah, I've been posting clips to Twitter. Which had just Vicky just furious. She's just on Twitter writing incendiary tweets. Just, you bastards!
Fuck you, bro. Yes, indeed. Yeah. My God. That they were dumb enough to admit all of this, that they've known all along that it was just a complete and total scam. And now they're trying to pretend like they were just so innocent. And,
right. So the scam portion, I'm reminded of the Freshman. I don't know did you remember that movie?
Yes.
Yeah, this is kind of like the Godfather parody with Marlon Brando, and that actor, who you never really see much these days, but he was big in war games. Matthew Broderick. Yeah, with Matthew Broderick. And I just remember that one line from the movie. It's a nasty word, the scam. But let's just say somewhat disingenuous scheme to generate extra interest in your campaigns. Because according to Ethan as well, like Ethan had a really close relationship with Nick Barucci, who runs, Dynamite, which is, a fairly major comic book publisher. As somebody put it, if you can just head to your local comic book store and expect to see Dynamite comics there with, Red Sonja and, The Boys, which now has an excellent show on HBO. Whereas, if it's like a smaller one, like, me, I'm distributing through Red 5 for White Lily, you have to go to the store and go, hey, I want you to order this through Diamond. So Dynamite is a fairly significant company. And that, according to Ethan, like that Dynamite, Nick Barucci had been working with Ethan for, a couple of years or so. And that apparently Dynamite was pretty involved, had made an offer to, get Hanzo to write a couple of stories for the Vampirella anthology. And surprisingly, I'm like, wow, this seems hard to believe. But surprisingly, Nick Barucci apparently was like, you know what? I really don't think Mike Miller should be involved in Comicsgate. Which I'm like, like the idea that the head of Dynamite is sitting back going, not him, is pretty crazy, right? So, and
yes, but it was all about the gays.
Yeah, it was all about
let's remember.
Yeah,
it was no religion, no politics, but only because Nick Barucci apparently said so.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's a nice twist.
Yeah. So anyway, so I will definitely be making a video about that because that's just too juicy, and there were so many other things that were said in the war campaign stream, which I listened to on the drive back from LA, where I spent some time with my daughter. But it was so weird. Like, I don't know if you ever listen to like your enemy's broadcast and you just find yourself agreeing with everything. You're like, am I wrong? Or are they wrong? Or why are we fighting? Because, they were going on like, Mandy's a thought, Peter Gilmore's a shit artist. I'm like, why did you fight with me about all these things? When I said, in a much kinder way than you just said, kind of words that express a similar sentiment, why were you, attacking me? It's they were there, doing Ethan's dirty work and holding people to a line that they knew to be false. They knew that, Peter Gilmore wasn't good. They knew that Dynamite, which was run by what they would call SJWs, was really the one in charge of Comicsgate by way of their control over Ethan, who Ethan depended on to fulfill his campaigns and stuff. I'm like, wow, okay, then you guys were just a bunch of jerks. Like I said, they're disingenuously attacking people just for the hell of it.
Yeah, for all the things that they're now just agreeing with everybody who's anti-CG, quote unquote. I mean, that's just it's beyond crazy to me.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not, because they were all looking for a payday.
Yeah.
Gat can pretend that he was all outraged, but he
Right.
still wrote those scripts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
He can sit there and say that was just, that was just beyond the pale and
Right.
what a piece of shit.
I can't
but he
believe
still
you're
wrote
working
those
with. Yeah. I can't believe
The
you're
Dynamite.
working with Dynamite, Ethan. Oh, here's a couple of scripts for Vampirella anthology. If you'll publish these, I will put on a pussy hat and pose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But they're hardcore CG values.
right.
They're hardcore OG CG values. That's what they kept saying on their stream tonight.
This is kind of what I love about this whole thing with YouTube and comic books is it's really very much, it reminds me of Hollywood, but it's just on such a smaller, more pathetic scale. You know, out there in Hollywood, they're screwing each other for what seems like more fame and more money. But here it's like, you know, what you're selling out your principles for a Vampirella anthology story? What the hell is that going to get you? But anyway, I don't know. And that's always been one of my criticisms. And Doug brought it up too. I think, you know, Doug said it is like, you sold your integrity for that. You know, the rewards of selling out are just, they're not what they should be, you know? So.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, all right. Hold on. Hand those over real quick. Okay. So you got it plugged in, right? Okay. So then you got to turn the phones on all the way to the top. Is it all the way to the top? It is all the way to the top. Okay, that should work. And then go into your system preferences and select the Logitech thing. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or even easier, there are just headphones in there. You can just plug into your computer. I don't know why I didn't think of that too. That'll work.
Okay.
So there we go. All right. So with all that being said, John, you got some pages, and let's take a look at them.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So here we are. We're going page 11 through 20, right?
Yeah.
Of the Wizard's Daughter. All right. Well, you know the role. Let's assign some parts here. Theoretically, Jennifer may be available.
I can't.
No.
I will. I just gave headphones.
Yeah. So theoretically, Jennifer may be available for some speaking roles.
Well, if that's the case, then I could have I'll have you and Vicky do Adam and Zoe. Jennifer can be everybody else, and I'll read the narration.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
Oh, actually, no, that's right. I forgot. I changed locations.
Okay.
So, Vicky, will you also do Lucy?
Sure.
She shows up at the end. And then, Preston, you want to also do Endor?
So I am Adam and Endor.
Adam and Endor.
Adam and Endor. Okay.
And then, Vicky, you can be Lucy and Zoe. And then Jen can be everybody else, and I'll narrate. And that should pretty much cover everything.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's going to be too much cross-talking where you'll be talking to yourself.
Right. So, Jennifer, you have been assigned everybody who's not Adam, Endor, or Zoe.
Adam.
Or Lucy.
Or Lucy, yeah.
Or Lucy.
So you should be able
So
to go.
it would be the magistrate, and I think there might be a few other one-liners in there, too.
Okay, awesome. Oh, and you know, somebody made so I also, and you know, it's strange that I didn't mention this first or earlier. I guess, but you know, Guinevere 3 is doing really well, and so I've been spreading that link around. I launched it at 1:00 Central. It's 8:00, so 7 hours later, and we're already over $2,200, which is the best performance I've ever seen from one of my campaigns. So I'm pretty happy about that. But I was spreading that link around. Go ahead.
That's very exciting.
Thank you. And somebody came back and was like, wow, oh yeah, and they were asking like, when can I get a main cover? You know, because they were like looking for like more of a value price, and like that'll come in about a month or so. Because the way I do my campaigns is, you know, I'm rewarding the people who are willing to pay more with earlier access and limited editions. That's you know what I'm offering for $1. And so I was like, okay, so if you want the main cover, you know, more of a value option, just wait a month or so. And they made another comment like that they were really kind of inspired, and that they were kind of on the verge of, you know, biting the bullet, writing a script, and hiring an artist to make a comic book. And I'm like, great. You know, have you listened to my writer streams? Like, yeah, I've listened to a bunch of them. I'm like, cool. So, you know,
Nice.
I'm having some influence out there. People say I'm bad for comics, but you know, I don't know about that.
Screw that guy.
Exactly. So the orphanage guard. Oh wait, I'm not narrator.
Oh, and one word of point, and
Okay.
I didn't because from Vicky's comment, she was confused about the blocking when I had Zoe coming and going.
Okay.
She came in the front door and she was going out the back door to the garden, which I guess got a little, because we ended where we ended, it got a little confusing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's this is the garden out the back door, which is where we pick up here.
Okay.
So, page 11, panel 1, the orphanage garden. A small walled garden, a patio by the back door leads out to a mostly grassy area. There are some vines growing, but no fruit. Zoe stands on the patio, Adam entering a few steps behind her.
The light lives in all things. The light brought forth love. Come, commune with me.
Yeah, you missed the middle part of that scripture. Darkness lives in all things too. That should be T-double-O.
Panel 2, Zoe draws the yin-yang symbol in the dirt with her finger.
The light bringers of the East call it yin-yang, two halves of the same heart. To live in the light is to live in love. I see love in you.
Panel 3, Zoe and Adam sit on the patchy grass in meditative positions.
My mother often spoke of how the light bringers of old wielded the magic of the light.
There was much magic in the world then. Today, the darkness grows more powerful. Fear, hatred, these are tools of darkness.
Panel 4, Zoe sitting with her eyes closed, clear thoughts, meditating.
Light and darkness lives in all of us. It's a constant struggle. Clear your mind of all thoughts. Focus on love. It is the great magic that binds the universe together.
Panel 12. Page 12, panel 1. This is going to be inset. Close on Zoe's chest, her heart grows a brilliant white.
Her heart grew 3 sizes that day?
Her heart glows a brilliant white light, which appears visible through her skin and clothing. The veins and arteries attached to her heart also glow, but fade the further they get from her heart. Panel 2, medium on Zoe's chest, abdomen, and head. Her skin is glowing a brilliant white light. It seems to grow from her heart and cover her flesh. Panel 3, splash page, Zoe meditating. She appears as a silhouette of brilliant white light. Her clothes appear to have vanished. It is only her. The garden is lit from the glowing white light radiating from Zoe.
All right.
Page 13, panel 1. Adam squints to look at Zoe, the bright light shining on his face like a spotlight. Panel 2, Zoe holding up her hand, palm toward Adam.
Take my hand.
Panel 3, Adam reaching for Zoe's hand. Panel 4, Adam touching Zoe's hand, his fingers radiating light. Panel 5, Zoe and Adam holding hands, both radiate brilliant white light. Page 14, panel 1, Adam and Zoe's appearance have returned to normal. They remain seated. Adam is awestruck. Zoe beams a smile.
Wow. That was amazing.
I've spent my entire life searching for the light bringer of prophecy, and now I believe I have found him.
Panel 2, Adam standing, pacing, panicking. Zoe stands behind him reassuringly.
Oh, again, I try to give script feedback when I see it because it's really hard for me to find later. Adam standing, pacing, panicking. If I'm a penciler, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to draw there. So I would be a little more clear on what you want to draw Adam doing. Thanks, but no thanks. I heard the stories. Most light bringers die very early in horrible ways. You should find someone else.
You have seen the God Queen's way. You have seen the darkness.
Panel 3, Adam standing facing Zoe, hands on her arms. He is upset, a little angry. Zoe remains calm, reassuringly.
And that is why I can't do it. Exactly why I can't.
The people need a leader, someone who is one of them, not an ancient immortal bent on universal domination.
And how do I beat an ancient immortal?
How do you defeat the darkness? By turning on the light.
Page 15, panel 1, opposite view of page 14, panel 3, Adam still holding his hands on Zoe's arms, but his countenance is relaxed a bit. Zoe is pretty much the same. Behind them is the view of the patio and the doorway with the orphanage. On the patio, Magistrate Westman stands with his guards. They have swords drawn, ready to move.
Jennifer.
Oh, aren't you two just a cute couple? Londonium's most wanted and the petulant little girl from the bakery in cahoots. So precious. Get them!
Panel 2, Adam and Zoe running away from the guards, hand in hand, the guards pursuing.
Are you sure you don't want to reconsider?
Panel 3, the magistrate turning to one of his guards.
Get me a scribe. I want the bounty on the Pentecost head doubled, and put out one for the girl too. 500 gold pieces.
Page 16, Panel 1, the magistrate's office. Sun shines through the window. Magistrate Westman sits at his desk, counting stacks of gold gleefully. Panel 2, a guard stands in the office. The door sits open.
Sir, the high priestess is here.
Panel 3, Endor, High Priestess of the God Queen, stands behind the guard, behind the door. Oh yes, the guard. Sorry. Several Imperial soldiers are standing with her, holding 2 large chests. Panel 4, the magistrate standing behind the desk, bowing. Endor stands upright, stoic. The chest on the ground, open. They are empty.
How might I serve my God Queen? You will fill these...
No, that's me.
Oh, sorry.
You will fill these coffers with the year's tax collections in gold. Paladins will arrive in a fortnight to collect them. Be sure they are ready.
Of course, High Priestess.
Panel 5, Endor, she is cold.
Whatever remains in your storehouse you may keep. You have served your God Queen well.
Page 17, Panel 1, a courier stands in the doorway holding a stack of papers.
Excuse me, sir.
Panel 2, the magistrate holds one of the papers, looking at it, the courier beside him still holding the rest.
Yes, very good likeness. Be sure they are distributed across the land.
Panel 3, the magistrate holding one out to Endor.
Would you care to take some with you, my lady? That devilish rouge Adam Pentecost has gotten himself a female companion.
Panel 4, Endor looking at the paper, her eyes wide with hate.
You saw this girl here?
Yes, just last night.
And I think that should be probably a question there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Panel 5, the wanted poster. Endor holds the wanted poster, a decent likeness of Zoe drawn onto it, wanted dead or alive, 500 gold pieces. Panel 6, outside the magistrate's office, Endor on a horse, several Imperial guards standing at attention.
I ride to Athena, send a carrier telling them I am coming.
Panel 18, page 18, Panel 1, an Imperial courtyard. Lucy stands under a tree. Mara, a young priestess, stands behind her holding a box of kittens. Lucy is picking one out. Endor is marching across the courtyard toward them. Several Imperial soldiers are behind her. Panel 2, Lucy holds one of the kittens in her hands, pets it. Purr. Panel 3, Lucy throws the kitten up into a tree. Panel 4, several kittens are in the tree, gripping the branch for dear life. Panel 5, Endor bowing, holding out the wanted poster rolled up in her hand. Page 19, Panel 1, Lucy reads the wanted poster.
She bears a striking...
sorry.
No. She bears a striking resemblance to me, doesn't it? Or doesn't she?
Yes.
Question mark.
Panel 2, Endor standing at attention.
She was spotted in Londinium with a man named Adam Pentecost.
Panel 3, wide on Lucy and Endor. Mara remains under the tree.
Who?
According to the scribes, he was commander of your archers until he deserted the war front 18 months ago. He's been spotted around Londinium stealing temple and tax payments and redistributing them to the poor.
Really now?
Panel 4, Lucy smiles an evil grin.
Oh, sister dear, you certainly have a type.
Page 20, Panel 1, Lucy and Endor walk away from the tree. Mara is a few steps behind them, holding the box.
I want Paladin Kane to oversee the transport. Perhaps he will succeed where the Londinium guards have failed. And that's succeed,
Yeah, you got a spelling thing there. Yes, ma'am.
Panel 2, Lucy and Endor stand on a platform. Mara remains several feet behind, still holding the box.
Release the hounds.
Panel 3, several dogs jump and bark at the kitten stuck in the tree. Panel 4, Lucy, cold, focused.
So, after 200 years, my sister has returned. Is he the human you've been looking for? Adam Pentecost?
To be continued.
All right.
And I know it's a little short, but I figured I'll flesh out some scenes and,
Okay.
But that's kind of the gist of it.
All right.
Yeah, like I would change that last line. The last is Adam Pentecost the human you've been looking for? Just because it seems it read kind of clunky to me. That's all. Sorry.
All right.
I know we're supposed to do the nice stuff first, but since I was right
No,
there,
it's okay. I was trying to punch his name. That's why I wanted to end on his name.
Yeah. So
yeah,
That might not, it may not flow as well.
yeah.
Again, hearing other people read it is what is it goes a long way.
It sure does. That's why we're here. But
she can be looking at the wanted poster for Adam Pentecost with his picture, and that gives it the visual punch instead of having to do a literary punch. Do something in the dialogue. That's just saying.
Okay.
So I really like your use of format and stuff. You have definitely gotten a grasp of how to write out the pages, clearly, and you understand.
Oh boy, Preston's starting with commenting on saying how good my formatting is, and I know he's got bad things coming.
You know me well.
It's usually a bad.
It's always, you got really great formatting. This is the best formatting. No, in terms of your formatting.
Brings me back to Venice days.
Because Venice had a rule: you couldn't give constructive if you didn't say anything positive. So I would be like, "This formatting is amazing. It's so good."
That was always your go-to.
Well, I got a positive. I did like the reveal, the way you revealed the Lucy and Zoe were sisters. That was good. Nice and subtle, but still right there. Yeah. And I kind of like the glowy thing. I thought that was really interesting and kind of cool. Yeah. So there's 2 constructives right there.
Oh, yeah. Jennifer?
Oh, I'm like 3 seconds behind. The
That's
sound
all right.
is like 3 seconds behind.
Well, just any positive notes?
I mean, I think that, given the fact that I'm coming in at this point and haven't reviewed earlier pages, the writing is certainly Shakespearean. Like the drama involved is heightened, and I think that there's some interesting timing in it. I'm not connecting with the entire world that you've created as much, but I'm certainly connecting with individual things like characters and scenes.
Yeah. You got any constructives?
The biggest constructive is how can you sort of balance things out so that it's not that the parts are greater than the whole, but that everything is working together seamlessly. And again, I just want to be clear. I'm coming in at the very end. I don't have context for the story before. And what I'm mostly reacting to is something positive, which is there's a real Shakespearean bent to this, which I enjoy.
Yeah, Vicky? You got any more constructives or?
There's a few little bits of dialogue that I would change. I thought it was it started off between Zoe and Adam. She just sounds extremely hippy dippy, and maybe that's what you're going for, but it came off as just a little bit too like she's too high priestessy, kind of wrapped up in the whole like religion-y aspect of the light and the dark. I mean, she can still get the point across about the prophecy and do the meditation with the glowy was really cool, but she just seemed a little heavy-handed on that dialogue-wise at the beginning. Come commune with me was just it. I'm not sure. I mean, I get the double entendre,
Yeah,
but
I like
it
that.
didn't quite fit. Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I forgot
I'm
to
just
say,
teasing you.
I really like the meditation light bringer scene. I thought that was cool. You know, nice use of artwork, the whole thing. I thought that was pretty slick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out where and as a writer, my advice to other writers, which you can take or ignore, is you need to have an idea for how you want the audience to feel at the flow points of your story. And we started off, going back to the prior 10-page arcs. We had the oppressive tax collector who was kind of comically greedy. And then we had Adam Pentecost, who was this plucky guy who was thrown in jail. I don't quite remember why, but he was thrown in jail. And there was some kind of...
No, that was the old version. I've submitted too many versions.
Never mind. Okay. Well, we have... From the prior 10, we have Adam Pentecost, kind of roguey guy, right?
Yeah.
And here...
Robin Hood.
Yeah, essentially Robin Hood. And then we kind of have left Adam Pentecost behind, and now we're interacting with Zoe and... Oh, okay. So Adam is still there, and he's hanging out with Zoe. Cool. And Zoe wants the whole communing thing, and then it turns out that Zoe is really the sister of the queen. Am I putting it together correctly?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So at the end of issue 1, we've got Evil Queen. We've basically got like the two plucky rebels of Zoe and Adam, I'm guessing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. But is the stakes of this conflict basically that Adam is stealing from the kingdom and the queen wants him to stop?
The stakes of the conflict is that Zoe is trying to find the Lightbringer of Prophecy to defeat her sister.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of a hero's journey story.
Right. Okay.
Where Adam is the hero and Zoe is taking on the role of the mentor.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So we have...
That's where I'm going with this, and I'm kind of ending this at the call to action, as it would be that particular beat point in...
Yeah, no, it makes sense. All right, so we have an oppressive government that we want to get rid of because they tax people too much.
In a trying to keep it light and comedic.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to get too dark, so I don't want to make it all about, it's not like Stalin's Russia or
right.
I
understand.
don't do gulags.
Well, you know me, I write a little heavier.
I do too, but this piece I felt like, because this piece relies on more of its imagery and its symbolism.
Right.
I felt that a story that was lighter and funnier would be better to communicate that.
I gotta say, it's
something that gets too dark, then it's...
Yeah, it's not bad. It's really put together relatively well. I would say that now I want you to find some way to make me care and desire the downfall of this kingdom more than just they tax people a bunch. Because it's hard to get emotionally attached to other people losing their money. I don't. It's maybe I'm cold and callous, but if
so torturing small animals didn't do it for you.
I don't even remember that one. But
kittens in the tree.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Maybe I would have. They tortured
The hounds
squirrels.
the hounds were being let loose to go after the
Ah.
kittens in the tree. Apparently,
That didn't do a damn thing for me. Like, yeah, screw those kittens. Get them.
yeah, cats are assholes.
Literally
Just-
did the
asshole.
opposite of the save the cat trope.
I
I was
want
like,
to
how
sympathize
can
with
I
the cat.
use
Cats are
character in the
horrible
most
people.
evil way possible and
Yeah.
still be funny? I'm like,
There we
the exact opposite of the save the cat trope.
Kill the cat. I liked it. Okay, it's good.
And you didn't even
I
care.
mean, yeah. Okay, but if you want me to feel that way, you gotta show me the fear. You gotta give me a visual of like cute kitten, and then point of view of kitten looking down the tree at these murderous hounds that are climbing up towards her. Right? You gotta make it visceral if you want me to care about that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just kind of like with like the money thing, where we saw the tax collector and all the bags of gold he had, and there's dialogue of, well, we're here to collect some taxes. Well, we can, and people are getting thrown out. But I want something more visceral. I want like a ripping of the gold away. Like this.
You have the kittens on spikes.
Yeah, I want kittens. You have to make people feel the injustice in order to care about it. If the more abstract it is, the more off screen it is, the less visceral and the less emotionally engaging, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's what I would think. And I feel like we should have some more foreshadowing for what's going to happen in issue 2. I mean, is Adam going to get like a lightsaber, or like what is his destiny here?
His end destiny is to basically sit on the throne.
Okay, but that again is not a particularly like, that's not emotionally engaging, I don't think, or at least I'm not. Like, why would I care if Adam sat on the throne or not?
Because then darkness will continue to encroach upon the land.
Okay, so, but what I'm saying is that, for instance, it's not about the moment where Luke's standing with Chewie and Han on the pedestal in front of Princess Leia with the funky necklace. It's more about the firing the photon torpedoes into the portal while Darth Vader is right behind him. It's more that big climatic battle for all the marbles. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So do you have that battle in mind? Do you know when that is that battle going to happen? I mean, I assume it would have to, right?
Yes, that would happen. Yeah, that's in the last issue. Right.
I know it's going to be in the last issue, but is there something he's going to need along the way? Some special weapon, because here would be at least be a good time to start foreshadowing the transition he's going to make in order to become the super special action hero of our imagination. Yeah, just a thought.
Yeah.
Because if we compare this to Conan, right? So just an idea, right? Because if we're going to look at stories, and your script is just a script in a pile, right? And over here is John's script, and over here is Conan. Well, Conan starts with a young boy who witnesses the murder of his parents and the slaughter of his entire village, and is then enslaved and must push the wheel. That's how the movie opens until he matures into this big hulking lad and is then kind of sent into town. And we, the audience, kind of know, like, I wonder if he's going to seek revenge for the death of his entire village. He probably is. And so we already have a feeling for what the cinematic conflict's going to be. And we already have an emotional stake in it, because we didn't like watching that poor little boy lose his family right in front of his eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we were kind of emotionally invested in his mastery of the wheel when he started, and the wheel was so big and he was just this tiny boy pushing it. But at the end, when everyone else is falling out and he's this big man and like he's got control of the wheel, you know. So it has these emotional touchstones that get us really involved and wanting to see, like, I want to see him track down Thulsa Doom. That's, you know, like, and you want that within the first 10 minutes of Conan. So, or, you know, at least 20. And so here we're about to conclude the first issue, and I want to be more emotionally invested in what that big cinematic battle is going to be. And I want it to be kind of led up to and foreshadowed and have me care more. So those are my thoughts.
Okay.
Anyway. But other than that, I thought it was good. I think you know, you've got the basic structure of the thing down. This is, you know, this is passable work. You know, but I don't want to make passable comic books. I want to make really great comic books.
And I would also just suggest, because it's going to help your artist out a lot, if you could be a little bit more descriptive of the scenes, instead of just saying, you know, there's a panel of Zoe standing, or Lucy coldly. You know, it needs to, there has to be more, like in the village, you know, if they're being taxed to high heaven, then the village should look really run down, and everything has to, you know, you describe how it looks a little bit darker. And it helps reading the script, and it'll help the artist out a lot in how they draw it, because you have these comedic elements, and that could lend itself towards the artist going a little bit more happy and bright, but you want those comedic elements to really juxtapose against the darkness of the actual setting, of especially like in the village in the first 10 pages, or in the orphanage. It should, you know, look run down, that kind of thing. Just my 2 cents.
And Johnny Torch says, hey, maybe we can see some people in the stocks for tax evasion. That might be a way to make it more.
Yeah, some stocks in the village would be good too.
And, you know, I could see maybe some. All right, I'm going to ask you, Vicky. Okay, because you're a woman, and you, Jennifer. All right, I'm going to ask my ladies. We have this wonderful resource. If we show like the tax collector, oh, there's not enough here, and he takes like unfair advantage of some fair maiden, well, now we hate him and we want to see the kingdom fall. But is that exploitative?
Well, that he was kind of, I felt like he was sort of hinting like that towards that in the first
context of the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right, Jennifer said it's not exploitative stuff. You gotta pass on that. Yeah.
And he kind of hinted at that in the first 10 pages,
Right.
with the baker.
The whole thing with the baker. Yes.
Yeah.
But because if I start getting too serious with it, it brings down the tone, and I don't want the tone. I kind of feel like, because.
Okay. So you want the tone more whimsical.
Yes.
Okay.
But he could still have actually like physically grabbed her.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I had the one panel where he was like invading her space.
Yeah.
And then
no, it can be a little bit more obvious than that. Yeah. He can actually, instead of just being up on her shoulder. I mean, it's a comic book, and you know, it's got to be a little bit more visual, because really what you want to keep in mind is not only is you want people to be able to figure it out without actually reading it as well. Like if they're looking at the pages, have a pretty good idea of what's going on just based on the art. So you want him to, you know, he can grab her around the waist, leer at her. It doesn't have to be subtle. It can be a little bit more out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you're going for a lighter tone, then I need the script to be more fun. I you know, like these pages were, you know, they were interesting, but they weren't fun. You know, I wasn't like, oh, cool. You know, like Robin Hood's kind of a, you know, like, everything except for the whatever Loxley one, the most recent Robin Hood. But the Kevin Costner one I think was certainly fun. There was plenty of Alan Rickman hamming it up kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah. So if that's the tone you're going for, then make it light. That's cool, but make it more fun. Make it a bit more whimsical and fanciful. Yeah.
Do you think doing all of everything I did with the whole religion thing was too much at once? Should I spread that out more? I was constantly going back and forth whether or not I wanted to dump it all in the beginning or kind of spread that out.
I'm going to be honest. The religion thing, I don't even remember, so it didn't have much of an impact on me. Vicky?
I would just give enough so that you understand that there's a prophecy. I wouldn't go too heavy on the religion stuff. I mean, I did dig the meditation to show that he's a light bringer because she glows and he glowed with her. That's cool, but I don't think you have to go too deep into religious aspects of it.
Right. I think people are not going to care. And this is just classic writing stuff. The fact that the Death Star has an exhaust port that's only 2 meters wide is only interesting to the audience if we're trying to blow the damn thing up. So you really need to correctly titrate the amount of information related to your setting to when the audience cares. And I don't know that anybody right now is particularly caring or investing too much in the religion of your world, because I don't think you've given us any reason to. So does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Well, there we go. So one script this week, I would have had Guinevere, but like last week I had writers group, and then Thursday, Friday drove to LA, spent 2 days with Avery. Monday, Tuesday drove back. So I haven't had a ton of time to write, but I have some definite ideas. I keep coming back to those same pages that I presented with Gatsby and Guinevere at the party. I've decided I'm going to make that more of a romantic encounter.
Perfect lead up for their island getaway.
Exactly. Exactly. And that kind of dovetails.
That's their trip to the Outback.
Their trip to the Outback. So yeah, I'm going to make that more of a romantic thing. And then and then that should be cool. So I'll definitely be presenting some pages from Guinevere next week. Meanwhile, everybody, for those who are in the contest, I would like your deadline to turn in the script for issue 1 is going to be a month from today, or basically 4 weeks from today. So it's going to be middle of August. So you've got some writers groups between now and then to come in and present stuff and get some notes. And
third Wednesday in August is the 19th.
The 19th, August the 19th. That's when our deadline will be. So looking forward to that. I feel like John's spirit is getting crushed. Look, his spirit's been crushed so many times. Really, at this point, it's more just pushed back down. Like he was fighting for oxygen. Kind of swimming, trying to get his head above water. He pokes it up, and then we shove it back down. That's what you do in the industry. You're like, no. So there you go.
Hey,
I think John can.
If I couldn't take criticism, I should have quit writing when I was 14.
Exactly. That's the thing about writing. You don't understand how tough you have to be.
Yeah.
Or actors too, for that matter. I mean, like, look, actors are worse. Actors, you got to get up and, in like a completely cold room. Can you imagine being in like a cold, sterile job interview where you walk in front of your boss who's sitting there behind a desk with a pen, and they're like, okay, page 5, go. And you have to emotionally do this like tremendous performance and add something, and then at the end, I'm like, okay, next. Like, that is really tough. So,
especially when there's 50 more people standing out.
There's a line of people.
And I know, because I've done acting, I've done auditions. It's you got to have a thick skin in order to survive in this industry. And it was funny because even during during the pitch stream, people were talking about how who was the guy?
Zombie.
Yeah, Zombie was like the Simon Cowell of the pitch stream.
He was like the Simon Cowell of the pitch stream.
And you know what? I just was listening, and I'm like, some people are really defensive. I'm like, if they're going to be this defensive, they're not going to survive in this industry.
That was always my note. And at the time, I know I've said this privately, but I go ahead.
And Zombie was mean to me too, but it's like
because people were kind of upset at the time. They felt like Lunga had gotten in early to present pages because he presented the week before the pitch stream, and I'm like, yeah, but he's not gonna win simply because his emotional makeup is not mature enough yet, and he can improve on this in time, and certainly I think to become a good artist he has to be able to sit there and have someone challenge you or have to go, you know what, your work is it needs some work here, it's not so good, you got this stuff over here, and if you can't take that without getting hot under the collar, this is just not the right field for you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, my day job, I work as an accountant. My numbers, they don't yell at me.
There you go. I am Randy. I mean, I never really watched any of those talent shows, but I might be Randy Jackson.
I don't know who that is.
I think he was the black guy. It was Simon Cowell, Randy Jackson, and that was back on
American Idol.
Yeah, American Idol.
Yeah,
exactly. So, awesome. All right. So we only had one script this week, and like I said, I was driving back and forth to LA, so I don't have anything. I could dig up those pages from the Rift, but I'll see how many scripts we have next week. And the other thing I was doing today was launching my campaign, which is doing great. Hold on. You know what? Here,
you launched the campaign. Tell me about it.
Oh well, here. Allow me to demonstrate. I'm pretty excited about this stuff. Okay, so this is for Guinevere and the Nudity Factory issue 3, and if you've been a longtime fan of the writing stream, you can recognize the stuff and go, oh hey, those are the exact same, or at least very very close to the pages that you presented before. So here we go. We're over $2,300. I'm going to share this tab. Boom. All right. So this is 9 hours old at this point. We've got 73 backers bringing in $2,300, which is an average north of $30 a backer, which is great. And I made this cool GIF showing all the different covers we got, but this is the Miss Sashi cover. There's the first one that's cycling in. All right, so that's pretty cool. And it's adult. You get to see Viviax's piercings, and I'm only issuing 100 of them. So that is $30 for one of 100, and we've already gone through 2/3 of them. So these are definitely going to sell out, and they'll probably sell out in the first 48 hours. And here are the first 5 pages, and Zombie gave those notes about like, oh hey, what if you got so here we go, Caterpillar. Yeah, I took that note, and then we're opening up here. This is Guinevere outside the MRI, and you remember when I called for the page of wands. So here we go. This is the page of wands right there. And then here she is. She's like, all right, I'm not sure what to do. She's looking for more information. She enters the stairwell, and then there we go. Here's Viviax. And
yeah, I like the change in the stairwell too.
Yeah, the change.
It was a little, yeah.
Yeah, and there's the Lucy Van Pelt booth. Right, this is it. Oh, see it.
That's genius.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah.
That's genius.
Anyway, so
just because you know how much I love Lucy.
Oh, yeah, she has this massive portrait of Lucy Van Pelt, but But yeah, so yeah, these are very much the script pages that I worked on, with you guys, 2 or 3 months ago, and here they are in finished form as the preview for issue 3, and that campaign is doing the best of any campaign I've ever launched. So I'm pretty happy about that. There is a link for that down in the description.
And what about the Savior of Comics thing?
Oh yeah, okay, all right. For those of you who have been blocked by Liam Gray, so really, Vicky's introduced because she first put it. First off, I should say I have a coffee mug that says "blocked by EVS," which Jennifer got me for my birthday. Yeah, from Vicky's store. And so Vicky came up with another one, which was
Vicky's a badass.
Yeah, that said "blocked by the Savior of Comics," who initially I thought was also an Ethan reference, but no, this is apparently a reference to Liam Gray. Why don't you tell them about that, Vicky?
That's why it was an orange koala.
Yeah,
it was a special request from Timotei. And so I put it together and I put it up. And it is, if you follow the I should probably pin it instead of the EVS one, or at least put it underneath there. Yeah, I'll put it in a thread, so it'll be up underneath my pinned tweet if anybody's interested.
Yeah. So for this, when I submit,
and what I did was, and this is the best part, is because he is the savior of comics.
right?
I used the Marvel orange, the classic Marvel orange, and then I used a fake. Well, it's a faux Xenotype font.
Oh, neat.
Because I wasn't paying $30,
right?
But it's the closest I could get to Xenotype.
All right.
So,
in addition to the 100 covers, I'm going to also submit with a printer another 100 covers that has the Viviax thing, but it's going to be covered up by, blocked by the savior of comics. So we'll have a limited edition, and I posted a link on Twitter. If you go to my Twitter here, I'll go ahead and share that as well. Instead of describing it to you, I'll just show it to you. So yeah, I put this thread here on Twitter, and I pinned it to the top of my Twitter account. So if you will show me a screenshot that Liam has blocked you, like P.S. Melter did here, then I will include in your order a free copy of the other cover. So at that point, it's buy 2 get 1 free, or no, but buy one get 1 free. So and I'm sure I'll have plenty of those left out. So in the future, whenever people are like, "Oh man, Liam Gray blocked me," I'm like, I have a comic for that, 1 of 100. Because I figured it would be like achievement unlocked, blocked by the savior of comics. There you go, 1 of 100. Pretty good.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to have some fun with my marketing. So yeah, Street Fighter. Oh man, that's crazy stuff. So yeah, we're gonna be diving back into some drama videos here for a little bit because so much crazy stuff has happened. I can't pass it up.
Nope.
But next Wednesday, next Wednesday, I'm sure by next Wednesday, all the covers will have sold out in the campaign, and yeah, it'll be. And this is, by the way, for those of you who are out here, this is again why I think, Moby is wise to heed my advice, because, if you're writing Gatsby and Guinevere, you're tapping into this market that clearly has demonstrated they're willing to fork over some cash to see what these characters are doing. So, thumbs up. But yeah, next week we'll have Writers Group, and then on August the 19th will be the deadline to get. Actually, wait, not the Wednesday. Let's make it the Monday. We'll say 2 days before that. So what would that be? August the 17th.
Give me some time to read them.
Yeah. So give Vicky a couple of days to read them, and then on the writer stream we will announce who the winner is, and that'll be exciting.
Sounds good.
Pretty cool. All right, awesome. All right, I'll go ahead and formalize this and post it up on the wiki and around Twitter and whatnot. But a lot of exciting stuff going on. And hey, Moby, looking forward to you. All right. If you missed it earlier, Moby, there's a deadline to have your script in. And your script can be anything you want in terms of turbine or gasoline, whatever you're looking for. But do remember, the contest was to introduce new elements, so you can't just be taking mine. You have to be introducing some of your own stuff, some of your own characters, some of your own plot lines. By the 17th, and we will pick a winner, and we will start making their comic book. And then we're gonna have to go through interviewing artists, and that will also be fun. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want people out there to see, like, oh yeah, and then you got to do that, because if you can benefit off of my experience of doing it, then that'll help you in what you're doing. Fantastic. All right, everyone, I will see you next week.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Have a great night, everybody.